Ah, the smell of sunscreen coating the air. Overpriced 12 a.m. patio beers. It's summertime in Vancouver and everything is beautiful. But all I can think about is the Vancouver Canucks! Who's gonna make the opening night roster? Can Petey bounce back? Can Adam Foote coach this team back to the playoffs? Is Nils Höglander gonna hit 20 goals again? Can Demko stay healthy? So instead of going outside and enjoying the great outdoors, I'm doing what any reasonable fan would do. I'm locking myself inside and playing NHL 25's franchise mode until I win the Stanley Cup with the Vancouver Canucks. Now, I don't usually make this kind of content, and don't worry, real Canucks coverage is coming soon, but first, I've got a cup to win.
Previously on Nuckhead.
We're about to enter the final year of Quinn Hughes' current contract, and as it stands right now, he doesn't appear to be interested in re-signing with us. He's just not that interested in the organization for some reason. We're gonna have to do something a little crazy. One of his best friends is Sabres forward Josh Norris. The Canucks were super close to trading for Norris when he was with the Senators. Allegedly, the package included Filip Hronek and a draft pick. Let's do it. Hell yeah. The season is over. We finished with a record of 44, 33, and 5. Our first round opponent is the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks beat us 2-0 in Game 4, completing the sweep, and man, I just hope trading for Norris was enough to get Quinn to re-sign, or I'm gonna have to start this whole thing over again. So it's now the 2027 offseason, but as we enter the draft, the most important thing is figuring out how the hell we're gonna keep Quinn Hughes on this team. We need to re-sign him before he becomes an unrestricted free agent on July 1st, but there's a big problem. He doesn't want to re-sign. And in case you forgot, the goal of this series is to win the Stanley Cup as the Vancouver Canucks without dismantling their core group of players. That means if I lose even one of Elias Pettersson, Thatcher Demko, Brock Boeser, Filip Hronek, or Quinn Hughes, I'll have to start all over again. And I don't want to do that. It's so nice out. I don't want to be playing video games right now. I want to go outside and play with my friends. I want to frolic through fields and swim in the ocean, but for some reason, I can't allow myself to do that until I complete this mission. Quinn's asking for a 6-year contract worth $19.8 million per season, and even though that's extremely steep, it's Quinn Hughes. I'd give him double that if I could, but we only have $11 million in cap space right now. That means if we even want a chance at keeping Quinn Hughes around, we're gonna have to move some money out so we can at least offer him a deal. And the first guy to go is, unfortunately, Dakota Joshua. Now, I know the Canucks already traded him in real life, but I started this series before that happened, so yeah. Nashville's offering a 3rd and a 7th round pick in next year's draft for him, and I'm going to accept. The next to go is Jack Roslovic. We signed him as a free agent last year, but he didn't really fit anywhere in the lineup, and it just didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. The Blues are offering 2 third-round picks in next year's draft for him, so obviously I'm going to accept that. And then, I don't really think we need Kevin Lank the Tank Lankinen anymore. Alexei Medvedev is now up to an 82 overall and is clearly ready to be an NHL backup, so I asked Lankinen to waive his no-move clause to go to Columbus. He agreed, and in return, I snagged the 33rd overall pick in this year's draft. We freed up $11.4 million with those 3 moves, so we have the money to offer Quinn the contract he's asking for. I just hope it's enough to overpower his disinterest in the organization. Anyway, let's draft some players. We don't have a first-round pick this year, unfortunately. We traded it away at the 2026 deadline to acquire Jake Evans. We also don't have our second-round pick because the GM before me, Patrick Allvin, packaged it in a cap dump deal to send Ilya Mikheyev to Chicago back in June of 2024. However, we do have the second-round pick we just acquired from Columbus in the Lankinen trade, and with that pick, I selected a 6'3" winger from Russia named Sergei Skvortsov, who just so happened to be an 82 overall sniper with low franchise potential. What? This guy's gonna make the team right away. How could he not? Thank you, Lankinen. Honestly, none of the other picks I made compare, so I'm not even gonna bore you with the details, but here they all are. And here's what the first round looked like for those who are interested. Now, before we attempt to re-sign our captain, I'm gonna release all the players I know for sure we're not gonna keep. Gabe Chiarot, Mackenzie McEachern, and unfortunately, the Doc Drew O'Connor as well. Everyone else is getting re-signed. Gabriel Fortier, Ilya Safonov, Arshdeep Bains, Danila Klimovich, Elias Pettersson, Max Sasson, Atu Ratu, Kirill Kudryavtsev, Ty Mueller, and Nikita Tolopilo. Now, let's see if we can get Quinn back. Wait, his interest in the organization has gone up for some reason. It used to be way lower than this. Was he just bluffing the whole time? He says,
I've got a good feeling about the organization. Let's see if we can align on an 8-year contract.
Huh? I mean, that's great. I guess we can haggle with him now. I don't want to give him $20 million if I don't have to. What if we offered him $19 million? Okay. What if we offered him $18 million? Okay, what if we offered him $17.5 million? Wow, okay, well, I'm not going to push it further than that. Let's just send the offer. It's an 8-year, $140 million contract with a full no-move clause attached. If he doesn't say yes, I'm going to scream. He said yes. Okay. In free agency, I signed 3 players to 2-way deals, mainly for depth in Abbotsford. Backup goalie Matthew Villalta and defenders Simon Lundmark and Emil Liljeberg. Some other notable free agent signings were Nikita Kucherov signing with the Kings, Filip Hronek signing in Seattle, and Pius Suter signing with the Lightning. And of course, I signed our new Russian Rocket rookie sensation, the 33rd overall pick in the 2027 draft, Sergei Skvortsov, to his entry-level deal because this kid is going to make the team right away. What a steal. Again, thank you, Thankinen. For the second straight season, I told our coach the goal is to reach the Stanley Cup final, and once again, he said our roster might need some upgrades for that to happen. Word for word, the same thing he told me last year, only this time, I'm actually gonna listen. It's cup or bust. I need to get outside. Here's what the Canucks look like going into the 2027-2028 NHL season. I've got the Russian rookie playing on the third line with Jake Evans and Connor Garland. I also put him on the second power play unit. Hopefully he can do some damage there. Our D pairings are looking good, although Tyler Myers' age is catching up to him. He's down to an 81 overall now, so we may have to address that at some point. Goaltending's looking solid as well, even after trading Lankinen away in the offseason. Medvedev's up to an 82 overall now. I think this team can win a cup, but our coach doesn't seem to agree with me, so we'll have to add some extra firepower at the deadline. But before we do that, let's sim the first 41 games and see where we're at. Alright, so we're halfway through the season. We've got a record of 22, 14, and 5. We're third in the Pacific Division, 7th in goals for per game. We've got the second best power play in the league, but there's a problem. We're giving up way too many goals. 3.22 goals against per game is not Stanley Cup caliber. We also have one of the worst penalty kills in the league too, so we're gonna have to make some changes. We need to improve this bottom pair. Tyler Myers is down to an 80 now, and that's just not good enough. I'm fine with him being our 7th defender, but I think his full-time days are over. Now, I would just call up Victor Mancini, but I don't think I did a very good job developing him because he's still just a 77 overall. We're gonna have to trade for someone. And after looking around the league for a little while, I set my sights on Leon Bischel. He's a 6'6", 242-pound defensive defenseman, and he's only 23 years old. He's perfect. Plus, the Stars have a plethora of young left-handed defenders trying to crack the lineup right now. If I offer them the right-handed Mancini and a couple high draft picks, they should accept. Hell yeah. Here's what the D pairings look like with Bischel in the lineup. Let's sim up to the deadline. Okay, well, we've still got a decent record, but somehow our goals against average got worse. Our PK is still dookie as well. I don't know what's going on. Our offense is carrying us big time right now. In fact, Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes both have 91 points in the 62 games they've played so far. That's insane. Looking at our lines, I think the only real room for improvement is in the bottom 6, mainly the 4th line. So let's jump into the deadline and see what we can find.
A few moments later.
Brian Rust is on the block. This would purely be a rental. We're not going to be able to re-sign him. I think we should do it. I'll offer our first round pick in the upcoming draft and one of our unsigned prospects. Okay, they accepted. Beautiful. Wow. I want more though. We need depth. Michael Rasmussen's available. Another rental. He is from Vancouver. We're going to have to ask the Red Wings to retain 50% of his salary though, because we've got very little cap space right now. That means we're going to have to give them a little more in return. I wonder if 2 third-round picks in the upcoming draft will do it. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, well, we have no more cap room, so that's all I'm going to do at the deadline. We picked up 2 really solid pieces, though, so we should be good. Here's what the lines look like with them included. I don't see how this team doesn't go all the way this year. We're stacked. Let's sim to the end of the season. Wow, okay, we finished strong. In our final 20 games, we went 17-3, finishing with a record of 52, 22, and 8, good enough for 1st in the division and 3rd in the entire NHL. Quinn Hughes finished 1st in league scoring with 126 points. I'd say he's earning every penny of that ridiculous contract we gave him. In fact, Hughes, Pettersson, and Boeser all hit 100 points this season. Big Hog had 37 goals. Skvortsov had a nice rookie campaign too. I still can't believe we drafted this guy in the 2nd round. Meanwhile, down in Abbotsford, the baby Canucks also kicked ass. They finished 1st in their division with a record of 52, 20, and 10. But who cares? It's cup or bust. And our 1st round opponent is Vegas. Honestly, outside of their first line, Vegas' offense isn't that worrisome. Their D pairings aren't all that special either, and their goaltending is whatever. So even though I ended up eating my words last time I said this, I really do think we can beat this team. And it looks like I was right. After losing Game 1, we won 4 straight, including back-to-back shutouts in Games 2 and 3, where we outscored them 13-0. Jake Evans buried the double overtime winner in Game 4, and in Game 5, Captain Quinn sent the Knights packing with the series-clinching overtime goal. Beautiful. Let's sim to the second round. Okay, well, we're up against the defending Stanley Cup champions in round 2, the Edmonton Oilers. However, similar to how it was with Vegas, their first line is the only thing that really scares me when it comes to their forward group. I feel like they'd be a lot more dangerous if they split McDrysaitel up, and that applies outside of this simulation as well, to be honest. Outside of Bouchard, their back end is bland, and even though they finally found a steady goalie in Devin Levi, I'm pretty sure we can beat them. We took Game 1 thanks to a stellar performance from Thatcher Demko, and then blew them out in Game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead, but the Oilers returned the favor by demolishing us 6-0 in Game 3. And to make matters worse, in Game 4, ex-Canuck Vasily Podkolzin put up 3 points in another shutout victory for Edmonton, tying the series at 2 apiece. Game 5 was close, but thanks to a 2-goal performance from Elias Pettersson, the good guys came out on top, and just like that, we were 1 win away from the conference finals. That sounds kind of familiar for some reason, doesn't it? Weird. Anyway, Game 6 was tied 1-1 after the first period, and it stayed that way for the rest of regulation. In fact, we didn't see another goal until double overtime, but before I show you that goal, let me give you a chance to guess who scored it. Take a second. Okay, ready? It was Brock Boeser. In a moment that felt like medicine for my soul, it was Boeser bashing home the series-clinching, game-winning double overtime goal in Game 6 to send the Canucks to the Western Conference Final. Guys, I'm healed. And as if it couldn't get any more therapeutic, our round 3 opponent is the Dallas Stars. The Stars are easily the scariest team we've faced so far. Their top 6 is ridiculous, and even after trading us Leon Bischel, their left side of defense is stacked. And of course, they've got one of the best goalies in the game backing them up, Jake Ottinger. So this is going to be tough. However, we made it look pretty easy in Game 1. Lekramaki potted 3 points, and Demko stopped all but one of the 29 shots he faced in a 5-1 thumping of the Stars. I wish I could say the same for Game 2 though. Dallas slapped us around silly in that one, winning 7-3 to tie the series at 1. And unfortunately, Game 3 was a similar story. Our defense, for whatever reason, started to crumble. We were scoring goals, but so were they. More than us. Coach Horton was pissed. We smartened up a bit in Game 4. I mean, we avoided giving up 5+ goals for the 3rd game in a row, but it seems that focusing on defense really did a number on our offensive output. We only got 1 past Ottinger in a 3-1 loss, and we're now facing elimination. Fast forward to the final minute of Game 5, we were up by 1 and things were looking good until a brutal giveaway behind our own net led to the game-tying goal for Dallas. But it gets worse. With 10 seconds remaining in regulation, the Stars lined up for an offensive zone faceoff, won the puck back to Miro Heiskanen, who then sniped it past Demko to make it 3-2 with just 8 seconds left. What a heartbreaking way to lose. The Stars went on to win the Stanley Cup, and Hughes won both the Art Ross and the Norris Trophy, something that only one player has ever managed to accomplish in the history of the NHL, and that was Bobby Orr back in 1970. Pettersson won the Lady Byng, which is cool, but I'm pissed. It looks like I'll be staying inside for a bit longer. Thank you to these wonderful Nuckheads for supporting what I do by becoming channel members. If you want to become a channel member, all you have to do is click the join button down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.